Hey everyone, how y'all doing? I'm your host, Christopher Agbo, and I want to welcome you to the first episode of Safe Space Podcast. And with me, I have a guest that I'm a big fan of. You know, he's a dear brother to me. I welcome Silas Adheke.
Thank you, thank you. My pleasure. I'm excited. Let's get fired up.
Fire up, my brother.
Yeah,
Uh, Silas, man, you know, I have so much stuff I want to talk about today, man. Just, just the journey, bro. And I want to touch up on everything about your whole transition from Africa to America, and for you to be at the place where you know that you're at right now. Could you please tell the people what that journey was like for you, bro?
man. Just similar journey to you, man, Chris. It's a very um, rough journey where we had no idea uh, what we were going into. You know, all we had was an American dream. You know, trying to go or trying to come here to the United States to pursue a basketball dream, so we can transform our family's life and give back to the community, whether it's here in the US or back home in Nigeria. And as a 14-year-old teenager, flew all the way by myself at the airport. I had to say goodbye to my parents at Lagos Airport,
Yeah,
and it was my first time in the plane, man. I remember the feeling. It was just like yesterday. The plane was ascending,
I can relate.
and it felt like my stomach dropped. You know, because that was also my first time in the airplane, and my first ever flight was flying a 13-hour flight from Lagos Airport to Atlanta, Georgia. Um, and that was the first time I also saw my mom cry about me. She cried, and and I was very teary. But I knew it was bound to happen because it was part of my destiny. And prior to me playing basketball, because I only trained basketball for 3 months,
Yeah,
I had no idea. Um, I had no idea I was coming to the US as a basketball player. I was a very intelligent student in Nigeria, and I was going to come to the US regardless to pursue education on academic scholarship.
right.
But then my principal in Nigeria told me, man, look at you have all this height. I think you should look into basketball. I was a really good soccer player at the time. And every time he saw me in the classroom, in Nigeria classroom, it was my principal. It was like, basketball, basketball. Like this man don't even know my name anymore. All he calls me was basketball. So that's how I actually got to know the game of basketball initially was, being introduced by my principal and as a hardworking kid, very dedicated, within 3 months, I was able to pick up the fundamentals of basketball and transform that and was able to be noticed by a US scout because he saw a potential in me and gave me the opportunity to come to the US. And when I got to the US, man, everything was different. I had to adjust to the culture. Some people thought I spoke really fast, but to me, I think they spoke really fast. So that cultural bias, having to adjust in the classroom and having to literally focus on my teacher's lips
Yeah,
when they speak in the classroom, because it felt like it was so fast that I had to really focus on their lips so I can try to like understand what they were trying to teach in the classrooms.
catch up.
But after a few months, I was able to like adjust, um, adjust to the pace of the American accent. I had to learn multiple accents, the Southern accents. There's different accent in the US, uh,
Actually,
but all that happened along the way, man. And since then, basketball has obviously taught me a lot of stuff. I've encountered a lot of adversity along the way. from being a 3 months from someone basketball with 3 months to playing AAU basketball. The same summer I came to the US, and the game was so fast, and I was like, "What in the world is this?" The American guards were so fast. The game felt like I was light years behind in the game. So after AAU season was over, I was like, man, if I'm gonna ever survive American basketball and get a shot to play Division 1 college basketball, I have to live in the gym. And that's exactly what I did for years, day in, day out, coming in every day, grinding, in the driveway, practicing ball handling in the gym, ball handling, shooting every single day. Dedicated um, 10 years now to the game of basketball. And, basketball gave me the opportunity. And now we're obviously doing something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the first time I set eyes on you, man, was when we played y'all. For all those watching, me and Silas used to play against ourselves back in high school, and
Yeah.
that was, that was a really really crazy experience because um, on your team you guys had a bunch of Africans, and on my team we had a bunch of Africans too. So it was just always a rival every time we played.
Yeah.
It was a dogfight, and that was
Yeah.
where I met y'all. You feel me? And it was really
Uh-huh.
crazy. But so my next question for you is gonna be how you transitioned from high school to college, because I'm not gonna lie to you, like nobody expected you to go D1 and do everything that you did D1 wise. You feel me? Like you went in JUCO, I went in JUCO, but like I didn't go to
Yeah.
JUCO because I sucked. I went to JUCO because of my grades from back home, and
Yeah.
sure it was almost the same thing with you too. But like, could you please like walk me through how your whole college career went?
Yeah, man. I actually had to finish high school super early. Well, not super, well, early. I finished as a junior in high school. I was preparing for my senior year of high school. Then I found out I couldn't go back for my senior year because apparently I've completed the Tennessee curriculum.
Mm,
Because based on the clearinghouse, I was told I finished all my credit hours too soon. So
mm,
I've never heard that before about being penalized for being too intelligent and taking too many classes. So the option was if I go back to school for my senior year of high school, I will automatically forfeit my eligibility to play Division 1, and we have to go straight to JUCO. And growing up, well, what I learned in in high school was people who go to JUCO are people who are academically challenged,
yeah,
you know? So I already had that mindset going to college, like there is no way I'm taking a JUCO offer because I'm not a dumb kid, I'm smart. Or I'm not one of those kids that got trouble, I don't create chaos. However, that's my only knowledge of JUCO. So I took my chances as a junior in high school. I had to graduate with class of 2016. Even though I was class of 2017, I was forced to graduate class of 2016 by the NCAA. So I had a bunch of scholarships for the following year. So I had no scholarship for class of 2016. However, very few schools from class of 2017 were able to still offer me for class of 2016, but those weren't my best college offers, of course. They were mid-major colleges. So I visited Northern Kentucky University and I visited University of Evansville. I wanted to study civil engineering. So I chose Evansville University so I could study civil engineering because they had practical civil engineering. They're one of the few schools in the country where the engineering is hands-on, not theoretical. Um, so it's not research based, it's practical based. So I chose Evansville. I I was a redshirt. I came in supposed to be a rising senior in high school, was in college at the age of 17, you know, and things was moving so fast,
Mm.
because I had to make decisions within 3 days of my senior year of high school starting or go to college.
Yeah.
So I went to college. I wasn't prepared. Didn't sign up for classes. They made all those last minute, put me in a bunch of classes. Wasn't even thinking college for a whole nother year plus. Got on the college campus. I was lost. You know,
Wow.
college things was going on, parties, the grown folks and all that stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm not ready for this life. You feel me? So I had to hop on the college campus, college weightlifting, the practice, the intensity. But however, as a competitor, because we play high level high school basketball on the same type of national schedule,
We did.
so I could easily compete with those guys.
And adapt.
Now the competition wasn't easy, but I adapted faster. Just that's how we are. When we came to the US, we had to adapt fast. It's either
Yeah.
you adapt or you get burned. So
Absolutely.
we easily adapt, and that's exactly what I did. Adapt, start thinking like a grown man, college mindset, and boom, skilling in practice brought energy in practices. You know, from being a redshirt, the coaches were trying to persuade me to play that same year because they saw how good I was, and
Wow.
they thought I could be a huge impact for them. But I wasn't ready to play college. I was like, no, coach, um, I'm not even thinking or prepared to play at this level right now for a whole nother year. So let me just learn the culture, the system, learn the plays, and develop myself and keep pushing myself in the weight room, of course. Um, but after observing, you know, the style of play that year, I did not like how the forwards were being used. First of all, I was a small forward, power forward in high school, but because of my clearing out situation, I was forced
They play big, right?
to go to a mid-major school where I became the biggest, strongest guy they had on that team. Because where we played in high school, we had bigger guys. We had 7 footers, and you were like a small forward, power forward,
Right.
same as me. I was a small forward, power forward in high school, and I went to a college team, and all of a sudden I'm the biggest, strongest guy on the team, and now I'm playing center. So that kind of like transformed your whole game from
Awesome, bro.
just based on what our body looked like. But then I decided to leave Evansville that same year because I didn't like the style of play. The bigs don't get any post touches; they just chase the guards around. And I went to JUCO, and come to find out, from me thinking junior college is just for dumb kids, willigans, junior college was actually one of my favorite memories in my whole college experience
It teaches you.
because
It humbles you.
yeah, I learned, I dealt with adversity. uh I struggled alongside with multiple teammates where we try to figure things out. you know it was like a AAU of college. The way we travel, we played 2 3 games in one day and travel back to school.
No.
And those memories, man, like they were one of a kind. Yeah, they were
Absolutely.
one of a kind.
Man, first of all, man, I want to give you your flowers, bro, because the uh, the main reason why I began this Safe Space podcast is for us, is for people or kids or individuals who don't have a support system or don't have an outlet to share their experience or their pain, you know. And from my own experiences, I've come to understand that we have to talk about those things. We have to find
Absolutely.
a way to talk about our past and make peace with it. And like that's how we get to build a better future. You feel me? So
Yes.
I want to emphasize and I want to ask you this: from everything that you just told me about getting rushed into college and not being ready to play ball and all that stuff. How key do you think a support system is for for a young kid who doesn't know
Yeah.
his life, his left from his right, or from a kid who hasn't really understand the real hand he's being dealt yet. Like, how important or how key do you think a support system or a voice of reason is?
Yes. I think me and you can relate alongside with other foreign athletes that came from outside the country is we don't have parents to be a voice for us, to be that support system. So majority of the time we get taken advantage of. Um, we're also very respectful most of the time, and come to find out, uh, the athletic department or the game doesn't really uh, doesn't really reward the people who are very respectful. I observed so many disrespectful players, so many kids that were like they don't listen, and they actually got their way and they made it out, made it to the next level just because they were stubborn. And I also observed so many people that were so gentle, kind. Yes, coach. Yes, sir.
They got
Work hard every day, extra hours in the gym, and they get taken advantage of.
all right. They get the shortcut.
So I learned quickly that in some cases the patient dog doesn't eat the fattest bone. And that's what we've been told also growing up, the patient dog eats the fattest bone. I was a lie. The aggressive dog who goes and get the bone first is gonna eat. Now, my basketball window is over, alongside with yours, and that's the reason why you created this podcast so we can be a voice and we can help guide the next generation. Um, we can help guide them and answer whatever question they have,
All
so
right.
they don't get cajoled, they don't get fooled by coaches. That doesn't mean we disrespect coaches or not be coachable. It just means we're not foolish to everything they used to tell us. We were the generation of athletes where we believed everything they told us, we trusted them, and we were taken advantage of. Come to realize, majority of the recruitment, the things they say during recruitment process is not true. They do what they say and show you whatever it takes to get you on their team. And the moment they get you, they do whatever they want.
All right.
And as a kid coming out of Nigeria, I I was raised to trust people's words and let your word be your word, let your yes be your yes, your no be your no. But come to find out that's not how the system is over here. And I have to adjust and not take people's words for it, literally, and kind of like process my own thoughts and understand not everybody can be trusted. Because me and we got burned on so many levels, you
Absolutely.
know, from multiple things that were beyond our control. What did we control? Show up in practice, go to classroom, be the best student, try to fight for a spot, spots. We don't expect to be given a spot, but there's been multiple situations where me and you know this, where you're the better player, but you didn't get a chance. Why? Because we didn't have that voice of support.
No voice of reason.
We didn't have that support. We didn't have that parent calling the coach. There's multiple times I've dealt with teammates where even the coach is saying in the film room, "Oh well, tell your parents to stop calling me, blah blah blah. You need to do this more." And you're the better player. However, you didn't get a chance to perform because the coach is trying to play the kid that has the support system.
Right.
And that we didn't have the support system, we got burned. You know, maybe we had American host family. They know nothing about college sports. Oh yeah, listen to your coach. Your coach know what's best. And there's the other player that their parents is like, hey, you gotta play my son.
I play
You
my
don't
kid.
play my son, this gonna happen. This is not what you told us in the recruitment. Blah blah blah. And guess what? Those were the aggressive dogs. And guess what? Their son ate. And we the patient ones, we got salved last.
Mistake, man. And look, what you just said, man, is so key because in my own personal experiences, man, like nobody in my family has ever seen me play basketball at the highest level. You know, like if
Yeah.
nobody, you know, except on TV. And now TV doesn't do justice to that.
Hmm.
So, like, I've been on super teams. I've been on good ass teams where all my teammates, man, their families are at every game, and I'm the only kid who doesn't have a family at the game. I don't have a host family, so like my situation is way different because nobody speaks for me, bro. You know, like whatever I get, I get. You feel me? Sometimes I don't want to play. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because there's nobody that can say, "Yo, play that kid, man." You know, nobody's there to say that. So that's why I was so motivated, man, for my own personal experiences, man. I said, nah, I have to create something, you know, a way, a link where I could be able to share these experiences so people and kids could know that there's more to being in America than just trying to come here. Like there's more that like a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes that people don't see
Absolutely.
in in the open. So that was the main reason why I made this platform. And
Hmm.
you know, also I personally think that me and you we are of the same mind, like we are of like minds because we I've been to like four different colleges and you know so have
Hmm.
you. So the next question I want to come to is what happened, bro, at your last college? ETSU, was it?
Yes.
Like,
It's
bro,
Tennessee.
exactly. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That year, you were killing it. You have been killing it, dog. You've been killing it, bro.
Yeah.
Every year you got better. Every year you got stronger. Every year you was the loudest, the strongest on the team. But all of a sudden, you turned your back on the game, and I
Mm.
couldn't find. That was the same feeling I had when I did the same thing. My last
Yes.
year of college. Now we're gonna talk about mine after you talk about you.
Yes.
What
Yes.
happened that made you take that big step away from the game?
Yeah. Long story short, I became a man
Wow.
and I learned to remove myself from situations that don't appreciate me.
Mm,
I gave so many sweat, blood, and tears, gave sacrificed my body, for multiple basketball programs, including ETSU,
mm,
you know. But ETSU was that point where I was like, enough is enough. I am done saying yes, sir, and yes, sir, to a program or a coaching system that disrespects my dignity as a man. There's a difference between coaching a man and stripping him out of his dignity.
mm,
The only thing a man truly owns is respect. It doesn't matter how rich, poor, muscular, skinny, tall, short, dark, light, accent, no accent, foreigner, international, American. You are as a man. Once you take away the respect a man has, he's lost everything. Respect is the only thing that I had left. And when I don't get that respect, I have so much self-respect for myself
wow.
to walk away from things that didn't respect me.
Mm.
I won't emphasize too deeply into what happened within that program.
Bro, now hold on. That's why this is called safe space. It's a safe space. You know,
Yeah.
it's a safe space. Like you have to, bro. This is a platform where you could talk about that stuff with, with
Okay, I
no,
will enlighten.
no,
I'll
yeah,
go straight
with
into it.
no holdbacks. Because like
Yeah.
this is going to teach somebody else like what to do or what not to do. Like this is going to
Yes,
help them.
absolutely.
You know,
Basically, I experienced um, abuse of power, abuse of my masculinity. I was stripped of my dignity as a man. I was disrespected. I was threatened. None of the effort I put in was acknowledged. Um, it felt like the the coach that's supposed to be your support system is your number one enemy. You know, coach didn't respect my family, didn't respect my small business I started, and oftentimes it tells me the reason why I came back to the program was so the donors can invest in my business. Bear in mind, I've been out of business since I was a sophomore in college. Neither of all the programs I've played for, not one time have I gone to any of the coaching staff or the donors that, hey, invest in my business. I never did it. I played the game for the love of the game and for the hopes of pursuing a professional career. But all of a sudden, and my business is how I feed my family back home. Bro, they were paying us $250 a month. $250 a month. You buy one pair of Jordan, let's even forget shoes. How many groceries can you buy in 1 month with 250? How do you put gas in your tank? How do you get a haircut? Haircut is $40, $50. Get left with 200. You pull gas, we drive to practice. You drive to different place, different meetings on campus. You know, can't even go on you can go eat at a restaurant with your friends. So that 250 wasn't paying me or paying my other teammates. But we kept sacrificing. Now, the department will argue that, oh yeah, you guys are on scholarship, blah blah blah. But yeah, we also represent the university on the highest level. So that evens out. If the scholarship wasn't a free gift, it was earned, years of sweat. And if I didn't have an athletic scholarship, I would have an academic scholarship because I'm smart. So sometimes they try to play the athletic scholarship card, like they think athletes are dumb. No, there are a lot of intelligent athletes that if they don't play basketball, will secure an academic scholarship and not have to wake up at 5 in the morning to go run and do all those mental toughness things and break their body down and sacrifice on sleep, mental health. You sacrifice social life, bro. We only see our maybe families or people from like back home maybe 3 weeks in a whole year. No Thanksgiving, no Christmas break, no fall break. Coming back on campus on Christmas Day to practice. You can't celebrate New Year's. Everyone is watching fireworks. You in your dormitory, cold. You have to wake up 6 in the morning, freezing cold, to go practice in a cold gym, and you're getting paid $250 a month, man. And you say you're playing D1 basketball, and you go to arenas where people worship you. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh, I wish I played D1. Oh, you wish you played D1. They have no idea what we're going through. They
no
didn't see
idea.
behind the scene,
No idea.
you know? So when I made that decision to leave the team, Of course, they told the media something different. Said, oh, I left for business reasons. No, I left because I had self-respect and I was willing to walk away from things that didn't respect me. And not only that, I knew how God had a bigger plan for me. And it was time to move on to my purpose. And that purpose
I'm calling.
is what I'm doing now, which is empowerment, Black Sheep Eulogy, you know, letting people know adversity will come and you will be ready. You must be ready. Life will test you on different stages. You have to make those manly decisions, like me walking away from a program that doesn't appreciate me. It takes courage to make those decisions because I also don't have a work authorization. I can't get a job, but I'm self-employed. I have my own personal business, which I can do that legally. I learned very early to create my own opportunities instead of wait for opportunities to come to me. And I also walked away from that program because I knew who I was. A lot of players can't make that decisions. A lot of players are being tortured right now, abused, and they're threatening to take away their scholarship or send them back home to Nigeria. But I wasn't one of those kids. I was one of those kids that knew who he was. I'm bigger than basketball. My calling is bigger than basketball. I will reach millions of people across the world. And for someone like me who has a God-given talent to reach people, to build others, I won't treat somebody else the way I was treated. And I recognized that I had to walk away from things that were trying to strip me of my dignity as a man. And that's why I left the program.
Wow. Wow. Awesome, man. That was intense, bro. That was
Yeah.
intense, man. It's crazy because we have similar experiences, in regards to that. Because my senior year was almost the same thing. My junior year of college was at Indiana State University. Indiana, we played Evansville. You guys were in our
Hmm.
company.
Yes.
But that my junior year of college, that was the year I realized I didn't have no social life. I didn't that there was no nuance to my life besides just sports. And that was all I had. That was all I was. If there was no sports, my life was nothing. Like that was all I did. Go to practice, go to class, go to practice, go to class. That was all. And I was bored out of my mind, bro. I couldn't function, man, and it took a toll on my mental health. And I had to step away from the game. My junior year at Indiana State, I started seeing a therapist.
Mm.
There was a dude called Dr. Chu. I started seeing him for a few months. So within that time frame of me seeing my therapist, I didn't practice. I stepped away from basketball because
Mm.
it was too much. And you know, I don't think people understand the amount of stress and mental toll sports take on the body, on the mind, and being an athlete. Being here in America, that you don't have your family here, you're alone. You have to deal with all this, all that the world is throwing at you by yourself with no support.
Yes.
Like the hardest thing, so because of my experiences, man, whenever I'm blessed with kids, I want to be everything to them because I don't want them. I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through because I'm telling
Yeah.
you,
Never.
having a support system is the biggest blessing anybody could ask for.
Absolutely.
Having somebody who can steer you in the right direction, or that could tell you that, hey, I think you should do this, or I think you should not do this. A voice of reason. Having that is everything. Even if you're not going to listen to it, it's awesome and it's nice to hear that somebody is in your corner None of us had that. That's why
Hmm.
we had that kind of experience that we did. But at the same time, mine after my junior year, I and then I put my name in the transfer portal. I transferred to a HBCU because he was doing the George Floyd thing where they said, Black Lives Matter. And I was
Yeah.
just I was so motivated, man, and I was trying to go to a black school and give all I had to a black school. And I went to this HBCU called Ross College down in Mississippi, in Holly
Hmm.
Springs, Mississippi. And going out there, man, was a real eye opener, man, because it taught me that black people are worse than the racism they so claim to say is putting them underneath heel.
Mm.
Yeah. And I had to see that and learn that from a real life encounter. Like I had a one-on-one, experience on that because black people, there's a black on black hate that's going on in the black community. First of all,
I agree.
you know, and like nobody would tell you that. That's the same. This is the same thing I'm talking about when a black person opens a business and a black person doesn't support the business but goes and support a different race. It's the same thing, and going to this school, man, a kid from Africa who doesn't know the ins and the out of the sports industry or the sports world in America. This black man, this black coach told me, hey, I was a junior, I left ISU, came to HBCU. I had 1 year to be a senior, and he told me I was going to graduate in 1 year. I said, okay, cool, that's all I want, to graduate within a year. Came to the school after 1 year. He's telling me, oh, I'm not going to have to graduate this year. I have to take some more classes. I said, cool. I just want to get out of here. Hey, come to find out, this man was keeping me in his program because he wanted to use me.
Mm.
He didn't want me to leave. You feel me? And he wasn't honest with me from the jump. He didn't tell me that I was going to stay more than a year. He just sold me a dream, and he made me believe that everything was going to be done in 1 year. You feel me? And that wasn't the case. And I found out the hard way. And now, when I found out the hard way, after the first year went by, the second year, I went to his office and I confronted him about it. I said, yo, I went to my supervisor and they said I have 15 more classes to take. Not credits, classes.
15 classes.
15 classes.
Holy smokes.
I'm like, dude, this was not what we talked about. I said, well, I care about my education so much. So if you're not gonna fix that, I'm gonna forfeit basketball because basketball is not school mean more to me than sports. He didn't budge. No, that did it for me. That showed me that, and I was loyal to this man. Like, bro, whenever you saw this coach, and you would think I was his son because I was always there at his beck and call. Whatever he needed, man, I was always there, and I was the captain of my team. So I was a guy that was always keeping guys in line. I was always trying to be the good and righteous kid, to keep everybody in line. But I was handed the short end of the stick.
Mm.
Now, I walked away from the game because of that. Because I put my trust in a person so much, and that just I'm not even. I'll be honest as possible on this platform. That put me in a whole different mindset, man. It almost took me to a place where I wanted to hurt my coach. I wanted to hurt him so bad, but I had to just step away from it because if I didn't step away, I was losing my mind, literally. Because I gave my all. I gave my all, man. I gave my all, and it hurt so much to the point that I didn't even want to play basketball. I hated basketball, man. I didn't want to watch it either. I didn't want to watch it. And it took some time, man, and I'm grateful for being in a place where I could talk about it without feeling anything toward it because God handled that. I was gonna do something to that man, but God had something better for him than I did because a week or two after my incident with that coach, he got fired because he was trying to hit on a volleyball girl. He was trying to, have some sexual relations with, the volleyball girl, and he got fired. You know, and that was God's message to me to say, I got you. You don't have to do nothing. And I let it go. I left it alone, and after that, man, and then after that, man, God was still good. I came back home to Atlanta after school, and I was getting some calls from some pro agents, some agents to go play basketball overseas. But at the same time, I was still, and then I started getting back into the gym. I started getting back used to the ball and all that. But I got a job. In my job, I was making some good money. So when the agent called me, was like, yo, I was going to make, this, that, and third overseas. I'm like, hold up, no. If I'm making this at my job, if going overseas is not going to pay me more than my job, I'm not going. To me, man, it wasn't about, because there's a lot of basketball players who are out there overseas that are just there just to say that they are overseas. But they're not getting their money's worth. They're not earning enough. I understand for the love of the game. But as a grown man, you got to be able to handle your business. You got to be able to put food on your table. You have to be able to put food on your family's table. You feel me? Being nice is going to get you overlooked in this world that we live in.
Facts.
You have to step up to every plate and take what is yours. You bowing down your head is going to get you overlooked. You're going to get passed on.
Yep.
You feel me? And that is the
Yes.
reason why I'm glad for my experiences, because I'm going to be the person that will be the voice of reason for my future kids whenever I have them.
Yes.
I have them because I'm going through that. Oh, I went through that because they don't have so that they don't have to go through that. You feel me? So, and I'm gonna always go back because this is the main reason why I began this platform, to inform people that, hey, you need a support system. You need a voice of reason to keep you on course. Even if
Absolutely.
you want to do what you want to do, it's fine. But you need somebody who is going to care for you that much to tell you that, hey, do this, do that.
Absolutely. And to add to that, man, I'll leave this out to anyone watching out there that, based on what Chris just said, the nicest people they always get the short end of the stick, especially in life in general, but also in the game of basketball or any athletic world. And my biggest motto, you know, in my life right now, one of my biggest motto is chance favors the aggressor.
Mm.
Don't be the nail. You get hurt. Be the hammer. You go hit first. Take action first. Because if you on the end of reacting, like maybe you're reacting to a coach recruiting over you, a coach will hop and take a bigger job immediately and leave you and forget about you. You know what's funny sometimes, I come to realize, it's all about it's a survival instinct. I was one of those people where when I was recruited, I said, "Oh, man, I want to play for this coach." Isn't it funny? You could be recruited and as a player you choose to leave, right? And you have to sit out a year. Or the university can even deny your transfer, that they won't allow you to leave. And if you forcefully leave, you automatically have to go to junior college.
Wow.
But The coach that are getting and you getting paid $250 a month, and you don't even have the rights to leave, right? But a coach getting paid $400,000 a year can say, "Hey, I got a better offer. I'm out," and go coach immediately and have a new family. The same team he was doing family on three, brothers and six, and calling y'all his son. Oh, you're a son to me. And coach become talking to you in practice, son. Listen to me, son. You need to go to class, son. Oh, all of a sudden you got new sons, new family, a new team. You think he's gonna check up on you? Heck no. I'll tell you right now, the only coach I'm in touch with right now
Yeah.
is my high school coach and my junior college coach. Isn't it funny how the same level where I thought, man, JUCO is the worst. That's the my JUCO coach and my high school coach are the only two coaches I'm in term with. Now, I didn't have problems with the other my other Division One coaches. It's just what I just explained. You know, they promise you and they lie to your face and say, "You have me for life. We're family for life." But guess what? They tell another 50 to 100 players in the past or at their current programs the same lie. That's how they get you to trust them. When a coach tells you you're just like a son to me, you begin to trust the coach as a father. And like us, we came from Nigeria. We didn't have any support system like you've been talking about.
Absolutely.
And when the coach tells you you're like a son to me and he calls you son, you become relieved that you have a father in a
Figure.
coach. You
Right.
have a father figure. He has your best interest. Come to realize you're just a pawn in a game of chess, and you could be kicked to the curb and recruited over and lied to and manipulated and used however you want.
Look, okay. Let's even dive deeper, bro. Let's dive deeper, right?
Facts.
Let's be honest. I'll be honest. I'll go first. The scars that I had from trusting basketball coaches in America, that's like that, those scars and those traumas followed me into every single romantic relationship I had.
Mm,
I'll be honest about that part. And
mm. That's a
you
deep
know,
one.
yeah, man. It's crazy, bro, because a lot of people will not talk about that, but I will. Like those scars I had from playing sports, they followed me into my romantic relationship because at some point I was scared of opening up to my partner because I was it was almost like it was the same thing but it was the same experience but in a different form. So I always was trying to hold back and not be so vulnerable to the point where I don't get hurt, where I could still walk away with some form of myself. But what happened to me at that HBCU, there was a point in my life where I thought that killed me. That was my undoing. But as time went by and I started elevating, to my seat of self and my seat of power and that highest seat of consciousness, man, I began to understand that hurt was a gateway to my self-awareness journey. It taught me how to know self, really. It taught me how to know myself, and it taught me how to deal with people, human beings.
Yes.
And in the most loving and in the most humble way possible, man, I don't hate my coach no more. I feel like I let that shit go, bro. Because he was doing what any human being would do. He was selling a kid a dream that, for just for whatever reason, I don't hate him no more. I let that stuff go because that version of me that happened to, I'm not the same person no more. I changed for that, you know, and I've had this awakeness that this deep emotional sensation that, man, I'm happy to have because of that experience. You feel me? And
Yes.
it's making me better every day of my life because I'm learning human psychology. I'm learning how human emotions work, and because prior to all this stuff, man, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, man. I never knew how to really handle humans, you know. But
Hmm.
you get to know yourself when she go bad, not when she go good for you.
Facts.
And people don't understand that. You find out a lot about yourself when you take losses, man.
Hmm.
You feel me? And it tells you a lot about yourself. And that in that same light, I want to throw this out there. People think that it's always good, man, to be alone. It's always good to heal and do self care, self respect, all that self thing. No, you get to know yourself when you are around people. People make you better. You don't make yourself better.
Yes.
People hurt you. When people hurt you, it shows you that, hey, you have a lot of stuff to work on. There's something that God wants you to take away from this experience. It's not happening because you have mastered self. And whenever somebody get underneath your skin so easily, that's just the universe telling you that, hey, you haven't mastered yourself. You feel me? You haven't mastered yourself. You know, get in line. But
Yep.
oftentimes people are so self-centered to understand that their own shit stink.
Yes.
And I could blame my coach all I want. I could blame my that HBCU or my past experience for all I want. But if I'm being honest, I should have done my part too. I should have done my research. I had a part to play in that.
And you know what? It takes a lot of maturity and accountability for you to reflect on those experiences the way you have.
Right.
And even me too, likewise right now. There's been situations where I could have gone to the media and talk about my experiences.
Right.
I think is it 2 years now? December was the year I left my last program. So it's over a year now. You don't know. I allowed them to say whatever they wanted to the media. I didn't go to the media not once to say alternative. I just left. I just left and let them make up their lies,
Wow.
and the fans probably think this guy don't love the program, you know. I mean, it's the same fans, during the protests, we knelt for social injustice. It's the same fans that were calling the players that represented their program gifted thugs. Hmm. We're
Wow.
called gifted thugs. Now, I'm not a thug, I'm a very intelligent kid, worked my butt off, started a business in college. That's how I'm supporting myself and my family back home right now, with the help of my American family, you know, providing shelter for me right now until I fully gather myself to be fully independent.
Wow.
Um, you know, for them to call their own athletes gifted thugs. That's how they felt about us, you know. So when they say an athletic program is family, which is what they still preach, family, family, you know, as Africans, when someone says you're family, we take it to heart.
I take it hard.
Yeah, we are learned to take words to heart. You are family. We mean it. It's not a sugarcoat. It's not a surface level family. When someone says you are my family, I believe them. I believe them because I believe myself, and I believe myself to be a part of it. Now, just like you, come to realize everything we've been told, every word, it's all lies. and it begins to shock you, and that created a scar in you, created a huge scar in me, that hurts, that pain, that we've been served a lie. Even the American scouts that recruited me from Nigeria,
Yeah.
told my parents in Nigeria, may their soul rest in peace,
Amen.
that, oh yeah, I'm gonna guide him, I'm gonna train him, he's our guardian. He's gonna sold them a dream. And I believed it. I was just 14 years old. And I came here, left in the dust.
Bro,
Just find your way to survive.
let me
You
tell you
know?
something, bro. The reason why you believe that dream was not because you were foolish or because you were stupid, but because that was the logic that you were operating under at the time. You feel me? Even though a person does or do a bad thing to you, I try not to, at least, not to string people up for their actions or for their words now, because everybody's operating under different logics at every moment in time. You feel me? And because I've changed myself, I don't, I don't, I know people can change just like that too. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
All those lies that you were told, you were meant to believe those lies. That was the logic you were operating under at that time, at that moment in time.
Yes.
Now you are in a different place in your life where you can see all through it.
Yes.
That's growth, bro. That's growth. You feel me?
Yes.
Hey man, this is almost an hour. You feel me? And it's time for us to wrap it up for this first episode. There's more on the way. For those who doesn't know, Silas is going to be co-hosting with me in the near future, and we will be having awesome and amazing guests on here. I want you to tap in and share, post, and follow us on IG at Safe Space Podcast, and share every video.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.
YouTube channel as well. We will be talking about a lot, our personal experiences, and we'll be having guests on here that will talk about theirs as well. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Silas, it was a pleasure to have you back on here, man. And
my great pleasure, man.
Let's pick it up on the next episode, Silas. Okay.
Sounds great.
See you next time. See.
Yeah.